So we've got these slats, like I showed you in those slides yesterday. The purpose of the slats is to get it even. So I'm going to press it down a little bit, not too far. I don't want to push below the slats. And I'm just kind of saving myself a little bit of work with the roller. In the roller, this is a little bit wet, so it's kind of sticking a little bit. This part is a little bit tough. Put some dry clay in here too, so it's a little bit rougher. Okay, so now here's the point where I want this roller to be touching the slat. So if these slats are too wide and the roller's touching the board, it's not doing its job. So I'm going to keep pushing down, keep pushing the clay down until I hit the slat. So right now, this roller is a little bit above. It's not totally hitting the slat, so I just keep rolling and rolling until it's the same height as the slats. So it's a little bit tough. I could kind of squish these in a little bit. This roller is a little bit thin. There's some other ones that aren't quite as thin. Okay, so that's step number one. As I roll this over, it's continuing to touch the slats for the whole time. You know, some students will have one slat and then it kind of is over here and then your clay will be uneven. It seems like a real simple idea, but it is hard. You have to keep concentrating on if the roller is touching the slats. Once you've got a nice flat piece of clay, you want to take your templates that you made yesterday and you want to fit as many as you can, because it was a little bit difficult to roll that out, so you want to fit as many as you can on here. You know, don't just put one in the middle and cut it and roll out a whole nother piece of clay. You know, fit. I could probably do my whole thing if I was the student. And you need two, it says sides cut 2 of these, I mean out of clay. So I need 2 of these and 2 of these. So if I'll just cut out. I'm going to just cut out one, but I'll make a bunch just so you guys can see how it works. Oops. There are some rulers. I get out some rulers. These slats are nice to make these nice edges. So I've got this one piece. I'm going to make a few more just for the demonstration. I guess I'll just do this, so they'll all be even. You know, if your sides were all exactly the same, you could do this. So I've got 3. How many do I need for my box? Do you guys remember how many slabs I need? 5, yeah. 4 sides and 1 bottom. Let's see, let me make 1 more, 2 more, 1 more. Alright, then I'm going to put them together. You guys, what do I do when I put them together?
Scratch and score.
I slip and score, exactly. Scoring is the scratching, and then the slipping is the, usually we just put some water on there, but this time we're going to use a little bit of liquid clay. So I'm going to scratch it up, just like you guys always have done. You know, anything that's going to touch each other. So usually I'm scratching two sides. And then I'm using, instead of the water, I'm using a little bit of liquid clay to put things together. So I put it together like that. And then you can, it's nice to, they call this stitching, where you just kind of pull the sides together. and then you can kind of go the other way. So you kind of mix up the clay a little bit. Try not to go, don't go too deep on that. And then you can put that together with your finger. Okay? And then we're going to pretend, we're just going to pretend I've done that for the whole thing. So on each side, I would slip and score each side and use that liquid clay. And then I'll cut out a bottom just to show you guys. And you would use your template for that, but I just want to show you guys something. Okay, so we got the bottom. We got the four sides. We got the bottom. You need some coils in here. Thank you. You need some coils in here to make it a little bit stronger. So now we've got this edge in here. Of course, I would slip and score that. And then you want to put this, just a little bit of liquid clay in the middle there. And then I'm going to put this coil in here. It's probably a little bit smaller. It doesn't have to be a ton of clay. It doesn't have to totally change everything. You want to kind of put that in the corner. And then you push it in and blend that in. I don't have one of those thumb tools right here. But you know, just like you were doing the coils with that thumb tool, you would blend that in just like you had been doing with the coils and everything else. Okay, and you need a coil in every single corner, so I would put a coil here and a coil on the bottom too. So before it's sealed up, you might want to put some coils on the bottom. Put a little bit of liquid clay and blend that. So I've got a whole bunch of coils. I've got coils all along, basically in every corner. So I've got coils here, and then it'll be up here and up here. And it's going to just make it a little bit stronger. And then the hard part, if your box is small, the hard part is going to be putting your finger in here and closing everything up. Okay? If you want to make a top is real easy. You just take your bottom piece, and you could add a handle, and you could add another coil that went around to kind of keep that top on there. Of course, I would slip and score that. So that would, I think that's a little bit nicer because then you kind of keeps it on a little bit better. Okay. Oh, I didn't. Would you pause that? If you've got something, a leaf, some lace, an old sweater, something, a rope, you can, before you put up the walls, you can put that in there. Ooh, that's cool. And it can look really cool. So I have plenty of this rope if anybody wants to experiment. Now it is more difficult to once you have it up here. I can't, once it's in the box, I can't put this on and then roll it because it's going to squash the box. So you'd have to, before you cut it, roll that material into there. Can we use the letters? And then you can also that's a good question. So you can also use these, now that you have this slab cut out, you might not just ball this up right away. You might use this, any of these things you could I have letter stamps. I have other stamps that you can press into there. But you can make designs in here and then put them on your box also. I was trying to make a paisley leaf. It doesn't look awesome. You guys get the idea.
Trying to make a what?
Paisley leaf? You know what that is?
No,
a paisley pattern?
No, that reminds me of a donut. No, that reminds me of, I don't know.
It's something. So you can make you can cut letters, you can cut shapes, and then you can slip and score and blend that a little bit to the side of your box. You can put, a whole bunch of, you can put small things on there. Make sure those tend to fall off. If you're not, I would use a little bit of liquid clay on there. That might, and slip and score and scratch it up. Because those do tend to fall off. What else? You can cut into this. You can totally cut pieces out. As long as you're not cutting too much out. If you're going to put a candle in there, you could have a whole bunch of things cut out. As long as you're not cutting out too much so that it would fall down. What else? Coils can be nice. Coils can be nice. You can wrap those up and slip and score them and put them on. You can design letters and make designs and other kind of swirls. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Thanks, Mary Kate.